Hello, my name's James Piecowye, and welcome to the Gang of Five right here on Podaholiks. We are going to be talking about the things that matter in our life, and truly, that's what it is. The things that matter. The Gang of Five right now is really the Gang of Two. There's the three
it's
more.
It's a bit of an anticlimax, this, James.
You know what? The keeners are here. I think it really shows. Who are the keen students in the class? You and me. We would have been those students.
Well, I was definitely the person to put their hands up first whenever the teacher asked a question.
Yeah, you see?
Teacher's test.
And we're both here. And where are the other ones? Well, I don't know. Although I do see that Andrew Thomas wants to join us, so he'll join in too.
Should we let him?
Well, I let him in. I gave him permission to come in, although he's tardy. Although it's only 3 minutes after 3, and usually Andrew, on any meeting I've ever been to, 15, 20 minutes, or you get the message, sorry, can't be there, dude, and he'll have a million excuses. So he's only 3 minutes late.
About as well.
Unbelievable. It's just something down here. Hold on, James. Oh, yeah, there it is.
Pick a finger. Oh, is that it? Pick a finger. Actually, did you by chance? Oh, no, you probably didn't, but there's a recording of it up, and I hope he's got the video. Marcus Smith did his inner fight. We had 4 of us got together. Tom Otten, Fazzy, that's not his name. Oh, I keep forgetting the other guy. And Tom Conway Gordon was there, and I sort of was doing my little spiel on, trust yourself and go with your inner mind. And I was trying not to swear because you don't want to swear, right? Although sometimes you just want to swear. And I couldn't figure out, well, how do you say, or how do you have an effect when you tell people just to, I really care what you say. I really care what you think. I don't really care what you say about me. So my whole line was on the video was, I really don't care what you think. Pick a finger and use it. I really don't care what you think. Put one of these fingers somewhere. Pick one. And I thought that kind of worked.
He's so proud of this line. This is the second time I've heard him say it.
I know. I'm trying to figure out how I can use it at school, and I haven't figured it out. Anyway. How's it going?
There's the other one, which is this. There's this one, right? Do you know that one?
No.
That's read between the lines. That one.
I like it. Oh, man.
I don't have anything like that. I think it's just nice. I mean, one, it's illegal in the UAE. Shall we bring that up? And two, I don't know. I thought those were years ago, putting your fingers up. I don't even think the new generation do it, do they? The millennials.
I think so. This in England is this is very English, right? Flicking the V's. Whereas obviously, so we call this flicking the V's, right? In England.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It goes back to the whole, it's archers, right? So that's where it comes from.
Uh-huh.
Giving people the bird is more American, but I think that's kind of, that seems to have taken over. But we're obviously, this is quite popular in the UK as well. So I mean
is that
that's
a swear
another term.
word? Pushing your beard?
Is that a swear word?
Is this swearing?
We're not recording, right, at the moment? Are we recording?
We are recording, yes.
Recording.
Okay.
Well, because Jenna's going to have to leave.
I just need, if you can just put that on a loop for me, James, and send me that on WhatsApp, Dr. Jenna.
What does it mean?
Thanks.
What does it mean? I'm quite naive.
Okay, so
I'll sit.
So we're also
WhatsApp after.
Okay.
We got Colin joining us, and it's time to take a little bit out of Colin because he prides himself on how the We Will Fix It guys are always on time, and it is 6 minutes after 3. He's late. So holy, what is that? His high school photo that he's using? We're on Zoom.
I was just thinking. This picture's come up that does not resemble Colin, but potentially his son.
It doesn't look like him at all.
Jesus, that holding picture is taken some time ago.
Yeah, I think it's when he moved. I think that's a picture off his...
There you all. I can't work out how to get rid of that shot at the moment. That shot was, it must have been, if it was last week, I'd be amazed. Bingo, I'm here. See? Can't you see the resemblance?
Actually, while you've got the We Will Fix It up, Colin, I'll just make sure I do a bit of branding. There you go.
Look at that.
Right. Playing this game, I'm going to slide myself that way.
There we go.
Hey, Jeff, how are you?
Hello, Colin. I'm all right, thanks. And you?
Yeah, really good, thank you.
Last time I saw you, Colin, we were at a brunch, a children's brunch.
You're right. That was a good one, wasn't it? We got decamped to the ballroom for that one. And yeah, really enjoyed that.
I find it really interesting that Dubai used to be this big party town where everyone went and it was, brunch. And now it's brunch, but here's the huge play area just to the right. Here are the Malak nurses to help you with your children. Everything is geared so much for families. It's kind of like Dubai has grown with the expat generation as they've sort of grown up. So has Dubai's accommodated that.
There still is those just brunch though. I mean, if you go to Candy Pants or Nikki Beach or the wet deck at W Hotel, you can reminisce on how amazing those brunches were pre-kids. So
I don't even know what you're talking about. Hold on, I need to make a list of this because I have no kids here. So those all sound like interesting places to brunch. What is a brunch anyway? When do you folks have something in your agenda that the brunches are opening back up? Is this what I'm hearing or no? No.
That was the first brunch that I'd been to in 5 years. It was the biggest week ever. But I think it was actually my brother-in-law's my mother-in-law's birthday. So we'd done the whole limo ride, etc., etc. Yeah. And then I had to leave early actually because this is how kind of family it is these days. We've got a new little puppy who we knew could basically survive 2 hours before he ate the entire kitchen, but longer than that, there'd have been a big problem. So I was the chosen one to head off. So not only was that the first brunch in 5 years, which is very Dubai, but I went home stone cold sober.
That's scandalous.
Well, if it makes you feel better, Colin, I went and I did not go home stone cold sober, but I did experience what it was like to have hyperglycemic children. So they had the buffet for children on the children's level. So you didn't need to get the food for them. They could get it, and because they're running around, they discovered the dessert section. So there I have two 2-year-olds helping themselves to things they had never experienced before. So cookies, chocolate cake, juice, and they were wild. I mean, and couple that with, I'd never ever done inebriated parenting. So having had a few drinks, hyper children, wired on glucose, it was a really, really interesting evening when we got home. I felt like I was being punished for having a good day.
So there's 4 of us here who are parents. You can tell which one is the medical doctor because which of you guys would ever talk about your kids consuming sugar and refer to it as glucose? Any of you? And hypoglycemia. Which one of you is going to refer to that in your conversation here?
Yeah, not going to happen. I mean, I'd probably call it a word beginning with S, but not sugar. But yeah, that's probably, they go. No, I do agree with you though. I find, so to be honest with you, I tend not to do brunches with the kids just because I feel like it's not like a real brunch. Yeah. And I feel I'm either going to be punished when I get home or punished in the morning, either way. So I kind of,
or both.
Or both. Yeah. So I tend to swerve the Friday brunch with kids. At the moment. This is truly the gang of 5. We are 5 of us. The first time we've done one of these. Everyone, this is a moment.
Yeah, don't mind me. Carry on. I'm enjoying
it. So yeah, Gwen's been here from the beginning, just lurking in the background.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
No, we have.
When you're 6'7", that's what I want to
know. Sorry, lurk or lurch.
Both.
Oh, well, there we go. Lurch is a great show. That was Lurch from the Munsters, right? That's a great show.
Addams Family.
Oh, is it the Addams Family? Is it the Addams Family or the Munsters? Addams Family?
Yeah, I thought it was the Addams Family.
Oh, could be.
Yeah.
I always get those two confused, but that's very nice. Jenna Burton, Andrew Thomas, Colin Thomas, Glenn Power.
Looks like the Addams Family. That's horrific as an opening gambit. I'm really sorry, Glenn. It wasn't supposed to be me that said that.
Hey, it's all right. Don't worry about it. It's better than Cousin It.
Which is me.
Yeah, I was going to say that's definitely Andrew.
Oh man. So we were just talking about the old the buffet thing. And I got to say, having my boys now being in their 20s, going to a buffet with those guys is a whole new thing. But when I'm not around, when my kids aren't here, who are, like I said, in their 20s, I used to be that person who would occasionally take their kids to one of those buffets. And, I always, you always hope that your kids are going to be behaved. But now I'm that person when I go there, I don't want any kids to be around. It's terrible how quickly you transition out from that. And then when I see parents who've got kids who have had way too much sugar, I just look home and go, I feel really sorry for them. Because I absolutely remember all of those days you'd go out, you'd have a nice evening. And if you got home late and you'd had a few wobbly pops, the next day the kids would always be up even earlier than usual and more demanding, and you would pay for it. At what point it was, why am I going to these things? What's the point? It's not worth it. So it's listening to these stories.
Yeah, I think James, though, to be fair, I think we all agree with you along your lines. We don't want kids there either. I mean, that's just because we've got young kids, we don't want other kids there either. We don't want any kids there. Just your own. Look, I agree. The setup is dramatically changed. So now some of these brunches, they've got family brunches, which is a great opportunity for kind of people to get together and the kids. I'd be interested to know when that kind of starts up again. I mean, they've just announced that kind of bakers and things like that can start opening, right? Roasteries, nuts. Yeah. I mean, basically, there's a thing from the DED that says anything associated to Ramadan can open up.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it feels like anyway. So we'll see. But I think brunches are a far way off, right? But I've got friends that have done. I mean, they're continuing to do brunch. I don't know if anyone's done that. I've done like a Zoom brunch, or has anyone done Zoom drinks? We have at Nexa. Yes. We have Nexa happy hour on a Thursday, 5:00, and basically we invite everyone down to the virtual pub at Nexa. So
we lost him. He was talking, and then he just disappeared. Is anyone else still there with us? Is it Jenna? Did you say you're also doing the virtual meetups? All right, we've lost everyone. This is a disaster. Oh, here we go. We're back.
We only lost you, James. We were doing just fine.
Yeah, we were all here, mate. You guys lost you, and we were all carrying on.
Oh, there we go. So, are you getting full attendance at your virtual pub there, Andrew?
Yeah, we've got. So first week, I think we had probably over. I think it was about 35 of the team. Last week we were down to about 30. So I mean, it's literally just like a quick happy hour. We've done it as a happy hour. If you want to come on and grab a beer, and the only rule is we don't talk shop. So it's. I mean, in all honesty, it just turns into banter. I mean, we've got it's. I think it's just part of the. We're trying to keep. Working from home is a bit of a challenge. So it's just where possible to try and keep that team morale up. It's just nice to do something that we would do ordinarily, right? We'd go for drinks anyway with the team. So why not do it over Zoom,
Yeah.
We got a virtual pub background.
Yeah. So we encourage...
We have that on Zoom.
We encourage people to put kind of virtual pubs in the background and you can, set it up how you want. What we've done on a Sunday morning meeting is you to put your happy place on the virtual background. So we've got kind of people in their home country. They've got people in the mountains. There's people that are in space. So I mean, you can customize that backdrop, right? So you can pretty much.
On, Andrew. I want to see it.
Yeah, we want to see yours.
My virtual pub.
Yeah.
Virtual pub or virtual happy place.
Oh no, I can't put the virtual happy place because I did the virtual happy place as a bit of a piss take this last week. But I had this was the first week. Hold on, let me just put that up. So basically I had Back to the Future, and I thought that was pretty cool because it obviously pixelates a bit like in the actual movie. So I thought that was quite cool.
It also looks like you're in the car with them.
It does.
Yeah. Well, that's the challenge, trying to find backgrounds at work, and then obviously you got like a nice. This is San Francisco. You got space. Another one was Big Lebowski, because that's one of my favorite movies, and then most recently Rick and Morty. But yeah, you can play around, and you can have video as well. So I don't know, you just do the video one, so you can see you got the palm trees going there.
Yeah, I like it.
So
you can see that you're in technology, Andrew. This is really something else.
There we go. Just have my Northern Lights.
Aurora Borealis there.
More like you just had a Vindaloo.
So let me I'll go back to normal. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. You can, if you've got a white background behind you, you can pretty much put anything up. So you can just, if you go into Zoom and preferences and click on virtual background and lie and say, I've got a green screen, just tick a box. And then basically on a white background, you let it load and then you come back up. So that's how you play around with it. It's good fun. Some people,
Jenna's going for it. Look at that. She's going
I'm about to go for it.
Everyone's going to try and find a white background now.
See that?
I have places in advance, so I've got it just right.
So yeah, I was going to say, you don't need the virtual background. You've got one there. You could actually just probably in the morning just sit by the window and have all your fleet behind you.
I don't know how to get any others other than the ones I've got. I've already got 3 choices, and one of them is James. So I don't know how to get the others.
Scared to have James looking like that behind you, Jenna.
See, I am a background.
He's on almost every Zoom that I have, because I haven't got access to any of the backgrounds. It's James, my brother, or San Francisco.
There's a little plus box. So there's a little tiny plus box. Can you see the plus box? And you add it in there.
I don't think I've got the magic plus box.
Yeah, watch this. I'll tell you what, this is the magic of technology, right? So here I go. Let me share my screen. Right?
Wow.
And then let's go up to preferences.
Oh, I'm on my phone.
That's okay. If I go to Zoom, why is it not let me go on Zoom? Hold on.
Look at how many tabs you have open and things you've got going there. That's...
Yeah, I'm talking about this morning, the frustration of Google Hangouts, because you lose the conversation. But it won't let me do it. Why won't it let me do it? Anyway, so Zoom preferences, and then there's a tiny little box, and in there it says a little click, like a little plus sign, and you can add in as many as you want. You can add in as many images as you want.
I'm excited about this. Who knows what I'm going to come up with next?
I think that should be a weekly thing. Who's going to have the new, preview of background?
Once you stop recording, I'll put up what I put up on the Sunday morning meeting, and that raised a few eyebrows. So I mean, Glenn will know this. I put up Big Barry behind me. So that was on there.
Uh-oh, what happened to Jenna? Oh, there she is.
I decided sensibly to leave my phone up against my water bottle.
Yeah.
I think we can make our kids' live assemblies a lot more exciting this way.
Yeah.
How inappropriate we could get.
I think you can get wildly inappropriate. I mean, that's definitely the picture that I put up on the Sunday morning meeting was to the point where some of the staff members were going, "Oh, Andrew, do you know the picture behind you?" And I was just like, "No, why? What is it? I can't see it."
Well, Andrew, I've already got 4,000 copies of that picture, so I don't need another one.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh man. Hey, you know what? I just want to jump back for a second because I'm just curious. Now I'm just being nosy about with the roasteries, coffee roasters, nut roasters, tea places. I don't have no idea what that's all about. If they mean the people who are, doing whatever they're doing with the tea. When things start to loosen up, what's the first thing you all want to kind of go and take advantage of when you get that liberty and freedom to actually freeform out there into the world? What's the first thing you're hoping is going to be open so you can go to or take advantage of?
Barracuda.
Okay. Isn't it still open?
Mate, that's fine. You can get it's fine. You can get a permit and you can actually get a permit to go there.
Well, the thing is, I know people have done it, but every time it's been done a little bit flippantly in terms of it is supposed to be essential journeys. only. Now, I've got the blanket permit, so supposedly I can go out at any point. But the problem is to be on the return journey and pulled over would be a little bit of a scary experience, I think.
I think no. I mean, so I know you guys have got your permits for your van, but I think so. There's guys I know who have done a permit for Barracuda for shopping. So I mean, it's been allowed. The permits come through. So I think it's more about. I'd say, to be honest with you, at the moment, talking to people, it's more about movement. So what they want to do is they want to track where you've been and where you're going to and who you've interacted with. So as long as you're honest in what you're putting, there's no real challenge. It's not. They haven't come out and said, obviously, look, you can't go and buy booze. I mean, the shops are still open. It's not. So I mean, I think the thing is that it's more about the movement. That's what I'm hearing. So I think the thing is, if for example, you said, oh, I'm going up to Barracuda to go on the beach or something like that. I mean, no, you can't. But it just so happens that you're going there.
I have to say, I also think it comes under medicinal supplies.
Medicinal supplies. It's 2 for 1 there.
Doctor told us.
That's coming from the doctor that we've got it. She's prescribed for us medicinal.
I was saying that to James, like my buddy and Miles and James's friend Kelly. He in Canada, they've kept all the booze shops open. 1, because it's tax revenue for the government when they need to get tax, and 2, they're concerned about the strain on the healthcare system when they cut off people's supplies, as in alcoholics. So I mean, I think
it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? Because in one way, there is going to be a higher propensity of people that are going to start drinking more, and that is genuinely quite a concern, especially because people's mental health can be a little bit shaky at the moment, and their days probably seem a bit long, and by sort of starting that drink a bit earlier, they're cutting it a bit short somehow. However, on saying that, if you have an alcoholic, you cannot go through withdrawal without support. Withdrawing from alcohol can kill you unless you have support, and therefore you'd have to go and seek A&E care.
Difficult.
Yeah.
Really difficult one.
And so I mean, that's from the doctor. So I think we're all okay, right? So we just,
I think to have
send us that recording on WhatsApp so we can just show the policeman.
Yeah, Dr. Jenna said, here it is. Oh, Dr. Jenna, okay.
That's right.
I think it's okay to have obviously everything I say, I've got to be careful, but to have something in moderation that you enjoy at the end of the day, especially in current circumstances, without alcoholic tendencies, is fine. Did I cover enough bases?
I think so.
Well done. Just actually, to be fair, I'm not really, since having kids and stuff, I'm not really a pub person, but I genuinely am missing the pub. As crazy as that sounds, like I actually just want to go and get a pint. I mean, and I think that is going back to I think that, and I really miss, I used to go to breakfast with my son. So I used to go and take my son breakfast on a Friday morning. Like we've obviously got our own time now, but I think things like that, massively selfish reasons, probably going to the pub and having a cold pint. And then, from a family perspective, that just kind of going out to Friday breakfast or even the cinema, going and watching, a movie with the kids just to do that. I think that's, some of those things I'd like to, I'm going to probably rush and do that, I think. I mean, I'd say Barracuda my first choice, but I'd managed to stock up massively before the run. So I think it was, I really, just managed to get enough in there. And I mean, I don't know if you've seen that video. If you haven't, I'll send it to you. It's quite funny. There's a comedian in the UK that's kind of speaking over a fence and to himself and pretending he's a bloke locked in. Sorry, Jenna. He's a bloke locked in, and he's like, "It's a nightmare, mate. I even know the kids' names now." And he goes, "I'm out of beer. I've only got Prosecco." Just like this. Genuine panic.
Oh, Jenna, what about you? What are you missing? What's going to be first on the agenda?
It sounds ridiculous, but going for a walk. I can't wait to walk my dogs and just go for an evening stroll. And when the sun's setting, I just adore, if I'm not working, I just adore taking the boys with me getting the dogs. We just go for a little walk. Doesn't have to be far, but it's just nice to get outside. Because we were debating this year whether to move to an apartment or a villa. And we decided, well, the apartment's so close to everything. There's so much outdoor space around it. Let's go for the big living space in the apartment, and we're on the ground floor and just walk outside. It's not a problem. And now we're eating our words because obviously we can't get outside. So although we've got a terrace, to be outside underneath direct sunlight will just be glorious. I just can't wait. Just can't wait to get outside and just walk around.
Yeah.
What about you, James?
Privily. I miss Privily. I miss being able to go to the hotel pools or the hotel beaches, and in the Privily kind of thing, I miss the French fries because I would I would go to all these pools, some of them go to the beach, and I would just order French fries at all of them and just try the French fries. So if you want to know which hotels have the better French fries, I can tell you. But I totally miss doing that, and we would just literally, again, because we don't have any kids in the house, we after work, my wife and I just might meet up. Our go-to pool was the Versace, and we'd just go hang out at the Versace for a couple hours, catch up on the day, have a tea, have some French fries, and then go home. And it was the regular thing, and totally missing that now. It's like we were 3 times a week. We were, or 4 times a week taking advantage of it. And now we're not doing any of that. So fortunately, we have some backyard space, and so we can set up our lawn chairs and we can be out under the sun. And it's, we're not interacting with anyone. There's walls around us, but it's not the same. So that's what I'm really missing. I can't wait to get back into that. I don't know when that's going to happen. I'm not hearing good things from anyone who's talking about the hospitality industry.
No, that's what's scary is we all wouldn't mind going without that beer in the pub, without the walk, without Privily, if we knew how long it was for. But that's the point, is there's no certain date, and we just don't have any idea.
What about you, Glenn? What are you missing?
Well, a few marbles.
But you're doing that. Are you still doing that trip over? You're doing the trip back and forth to Rack still, right? You haven't relocated yet?
No, past Barracuda as well. If anybody needs anything, but yeah, it's one of those things where I'm kind of buried at work. I'm busy. I'm lucky to be busy. Not necessarily earning money, but at least I'm busy, and I'm just enjoying extra time at home with the kids. So I'm kind of still on that phase at the minute of enjoying stuff now. It'd be nice to be able to take the kids outside and everything else. And obviously that's going to come very soon, where I really going to start wanting to do that. But I'm not really missing too much. That's what happens when you don't have a life outside your job, I suppose. So I'm not used to seeing the kids as much as I am doing now, so that's great.
That's it. When you're home, you're home pretty much every day by about 3:00, aren't you? 2:00, 2:30.
Yeah. I'm pretty much out of Dubai. I'm over the border of Dubai by 2, so I'm home before just about 3:00.
Must be a novelty for them as well.
Yeah, they're getting sick of me now.
I was going to say, meanwhile, the missus is like, I'm looking forward to going back to work all the time.
Yeah, she's loving it. Yeah, she can't wait for me to go back to work. So.
Colin. Surely, Glenn, I was just going to say, surely that your wife's going to be really, really, really busy when everything gets back to normal, because nobody's used their car. So surely everything's going to be going wrong with their cars come time to drive.
Me and James had a bit of a chat about this on the last recording we did, and it just sounds like sales patter, but it's really, really important that people realise that, if we don't get any notice, and I guess we're not going to get that much notice for things going back to normal. It's going to be one of those where, we've got the capacity to test everybody. You're going to get tested or whatever it's going to be that turns the tide, and then back to work you go once you've got the all clear or whatever. And what's going to happen is people start taking kids to schools or going to the office for the first time in a while, and the tyres are going to be a mess, the batteries are going to be dead, the ACs aren't going to work, there's going to be oil leaks and coolant leaks and everything else. So we are going to be busy. And one of the things that I've been trying to do for the owner of the company I worked for was basically get him to realise that we need to maintain a presence throughout this, and not just disappear.
Mm.
So, that's just so that we can be there at the end of it, because everybody's going to really need a service that we can offer. So we're not busy now because people aren't coming out, but we're doing a lot of collection and delivery. We're at capacity collecting and delivering cars, but we just haven't got enough people to do enough to keep the mechanics gainfully employed. But again, we're reducing contact, so we've not got a full team in any of the shops now. So swings and roundabouts at the minute, and not really getting anywhere meaningful.
There we go. What about you, Colin? What's going on in your world?
Well, what I'm still, as full-time as I've ever been. In fact, a little bit more so now, because I've gone very, very part-time, and then now I'm back to 3 days a week, which is a bit ridiculous, really. But for me, that's proper hard work. Every night now, I'm doing laps of the garden, and we're like a tag team. So I do, like, the first 3,000-ish steps are done with the dog, and then after that, I then transfer over to one or both children for another 3,000. And by then, they're all just can't be bothered with it anymore, while I finish off with the final 4,000 to get me to my magic 10,000 number. Because when I'm working, there's very little getting up and doing much. So I get home and I look at my little step counter, which is about as complex as I get for fitness. And I'm literally at like 1,000 steps, which is horrific. So home, food, grab the dog, and off we go. And but the problem is I've worn a circuit out, because it's basically about 10,000 steps is 45 laps, and literally it's going to cost me a fortune just to repair the damage that I've done to my own garden.
Well, painful. You guys got any recommendations for TV these days? Because I'm working my way through. I am still loving, if anyone has been able to catch it, Jason Bateman in Ozark, which is I'm loving that. But time is ticking on
Tiger King, right?
Yes,
absolutely, Andrew.
Tiger King.
Not finished. Dan, my business partner, has just told me about How to Fix a Drug Scandal on Netflix. Apparently amazing.
How to Fix a Drug Scandal. Okay. All right.
Apparently 2 people in the biggest testing lab, 2 of the testers in the biggest drugs testing lab in the US, started sampling the goods, let's put it that way. And it turns out that one of the 2, this is a totally true documentary on Netflix, one of the 2 became the most productive tester by a factor of 4. She was 400% more effective than any other member because of the drugs that she was taking, and has now put thousands upon thousands of convictions at risk.
Man. Okay, that sounds kind of cool. Sounds like something to watch. Andrew, what are you recommending? Anything in your orbit?
Tiger King is just genuinely car crash TV. So that's epic. If you haven't watched that, that is insanity at its best.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's
what's it about? What's Tiger King? What are we talking about here?
No, James, you don't want to know. No,
just don't want to. You don't want to. You just got to watch it.
Okay.
And to be fair, the first 2 episodes, I thought it was a mockumentary. That's how
a mockumentary. Okay.
Yeah, but it's genuine. So I'd say it starts to get like batshit crazy episode 3, and you're kind of like, can anything else go wrong? This is just so. Yeah, I definitely recommend jumping. And then Westworld, season 3 of Westworld has just started up. So if you haven't seen Westworld, you should get on that. That's a pretty epic series as well. But it's I don't know. The problem I find with TV now is there's too much choice. It's kind of like, you stare at that Netflix wall and just wonder what to really kind of dive into or what to watch. There was, before this all kicked off, there was a station in the US that was going to launch with, I think it's 10-minute episodes. And they were just going to do 10 minutes of TV shows because, people want to kind of bounce around. And I wonder what's going on with that because, it's difficult to lock yourself in. I think, interestingly enough, one of our clients is Novo Cinema, and we're talking to them tomorrow about when they do finally open, what are they going to have to show? Because there's no new movies that are being made, right? Movie production has stopped completely. So it's all very well the cinemas are open, but it's kind of like, you know, okay, what can we do? I mean, obviously my voice at the table is very going to be much based on, well, we need to do like a Steven Seagal marathon. We need to do, you know, like a Die Hard marathon. You know, I mean, anything, Arnie, Running Man, I mean, anything, you know, classic. Yeah, there's kind of that. So I think going back to what you want to do, I want to go to a cinema, but I'm not sure I'll be able to watch because there's nothing out. Yeah. I mean, even the latest movie, the Disney movie, which was Onward, they pushed that out to Trolls got released on video on demand. So there's actually some studios now that were supposed to release movies, and some of them, obviously the big ones are pushed back, like James Bond and Marvel, but some of the independent ones have just launched video on demand now and are going straight to home use. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's, and also, I mean, let's hope some of these places are open when we finally get through this as well. I might want to go out for breakfast on a Friday, and my favourite place might not be there. That's the other worry, right?
Yeah, that's a big one.
I mean, I think the booze shops will be there. I'll still be able to go and get a pint. I mean, that'd be a nightmare. That would just be. I don't even want to consider that. I don't want to consider that.
Well, you know what? I'm watching some of these films. Back to the film stuff. I'm watching some of these films and some of these old ones, and all I keep thinking is, I want to see this in IMAX again, and you know, get that full experience as opposed to my home stereo system, or my home TV, and it's just not the same. I'm missing all that, so I'm looking forward to
it, James.
What's that? Sit closer and louder. Just turn up the volume.
Like 6 inches of the screen, you know, it feels just like IMAX.
You can also get those projectors now, can't you? That project your television onto a wall. So you've got like a big, huge. I mean, it's not good quality, but it's like a big, massive image on your wall. To try and get the cinema feel at home. Everything's geared up to try and get it so you feel as if you're where you want to be, but at home.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, there's a buddy of mine's actually put it out in the back garden, and I said to him, I'd curse the hell out of you if I was your neighbour. I mean, he's got it literally on the neighbour's wall and outside speakers, you know, and you watch football and everything on it. And I said, mate, honestly, I'm so glad I'm not living next to you, because that would just wind me up, something chronic. I mean, you know, you don't expect to be out in your back garden and listening to what's going on next door. But yeah, it's actually, it's a good thing, actually, IMAX. I hadn't thought of that. That's a good thing. I'm going to use that tomorrow, James, in my brainstorming session. Thank you.
All right, you do that. I still want to see that Top Gun, the next one, because, you know, Tom Cruise, okay, I can live without, but but I just want to see all the flight scenes, because they just did some marvelous stuff in cooperation with the U.S. Air Force, and I just want to see and hear it. So that's an IMAXer for sure.
I want to understand how Tom Cruise can still look like he's 35. I mean,
how is that possible? How is that possible?
Scientology, guys.
Yeah.
Scientology.
Exactly.
Glenn,
isn't it hormone HGH or something? Is it hormone growth HT? What is it called?
What PRP?
That's it. It's well, whatever Tom Jones is on, I want some of that.
I tell you what, it's good stuff. But the thing is, as you said, what's he got that we haven't? Money. That's what he's got, Andrew. Money. Right. And it's amazing how good money can make you look.
Yeah. Okay.
Look fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think I've always got the beard, so if I want to look young, I'll shave off the beard. You know, and then so it'll be an illusion that kind of, wow, you've lost 2 kilos of hair, and you've managed to get back 5 years. So. Yeah, I suppose I could do that.
Are you ready?
You can remove my beard. Yeah.
There we go. I still think that's the passport picture when Colin arrived in 2003. Yeah. I think that's his passport picture.
I was 12 in that shot.
Glenn, what are you recommending? You're also up there with the Tiger King?
Oh, Tiger King! I've done it. I want to go and watch it again. Every time you introduce to a new, like, you have to say character. Every time you introduce somebody new on that documentary, it's like nah, this is not real. And there's some dude, I forgot his name, Garrison. That guy with the like druid haircut, it's unreal. And you just like, and then there's a scene at the end with him on a jet ski, and honestly, it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. So yeah, I definitely recommend Tiger King.
Apparently, the same guy had a documentary done about him by the BBC, Louis Theroux.
Louis Theroux, yeah.
So apparently that's a good follow-up watch.
Anything that Louis Theroux's done is a good follow-up watch.
Yeah, it's really
Louis Theroux. If you haven't watched any Louis Theroux documentaries,
no,
look up Louis Theroux. Any of his documentaries are just, I mean, mind blowing. Like some of the stuff that the documentaries he's done is because he's, I mean, an incredible investigator, but just his delivery and deadpan, you know, it's. I mean, there's some quite famous ones if you're British, like with Jimmy Savile and stuff like that, and Paul Daniels and you know all that. It's a bit kind of scary, but yeah, it's he's done some phenomenal ones. Really, I mean, he's done ones on kind of drug cartels and all sorts of scary stuff. There's also that guy, isn't there, Ross Kemp? He's done a whole bunch of documentaries. Ross Kemp, who used to be in EastEnders, he's done a whole load of gang-related Ross Kemp stuff as well. I think it's yeah.
Is it just Natalie, Glenn, and myself who are the Walking Dead, consuming that at as much as we can get? Or?
Yeah, I watch it begrudgingly, yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that.
But I'm still Glenn. I still think you and I are watching different seasons. I think we're not on
up to date, so I'm up to date. So,
but you were talking about a mobile phone, and I haven't seen. Maybe I'm not up to date yet at the end because
with the picture scratched into it.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, I saw that part. Okay, we're on. We're on the same one, but so because you got some complaints about it, but I'm thinking, and I thought the last episode that I watched, where how up to date are you? Are you like right up to date on this thing, or are you done?
Yeah,
Don't do any spoilers because I've never seen it. So you might be talking about stuff now that I want to watch it. I mean, I might be getting desperate.
Well, okay, this isn't a spoiler. This is going to entice you to watch it, where someone has taken these zombies, chained them up, and put them into roles where they're acting. So you've got a zombie pulling over another zombie in a car and writing a ticket. You've got zombies in a restaurant that look like they're eating because they've made sure their hands can only move in a certain way. I thought it was hilarious.
That sounds ridiculous, James.
It is ridiculous.
Like a little boys program.
It's ridiculous. But when you watch it, you kind of go, okay, I get it. Yeah. It's.
I mean, you can talk about Walking Dead all you want now because that's just put me right off. I don't think I'm going to watch that. I do
me
find
and Andy will just stay in and watch the Tiger King.
Having young kids does. Kind of your TV time becomes so precious that you really kind of give it about a 10-minute window, and if it doesn't hit you, you're like, no, forget this. Let's find something else quick before they wake up, or because we have to go to bed or whatever. So I found my TV where I used to watch everything and everything. I've found that I've become a bit more, and that doesn't mean that what I'm watching is any better. By the way, it's still garbage half the time, but I'm just quite particular in what I do spend time on. I mean, it could still be, I'm still watching things like, I mean, I downloaded the new Thundercats for me, really. I mean, I say my son, but it was for me. So I watched that last week. And also as a Star Wars geek, Clone Wars is pretty epic at the moment as well.
Oh, so, nice.
I mean, that's obviously, you know, for my son, but not for my son, 100% for me. So.
Well, Jenna, who's getting your boys all into Star Wars and all that stuff? Are you the Star Wars geek, or is it your husband James?
Well, it's not me, James. I'll tell you that much. It's definitely not me. James is a Star Wars fan, but at the moment they're still too young. They want, unless it's got a car on it, unless there's a car, a moving vehicle that's on the ground, they're not interested. So we watch copious amounts of, I think they're like Korean programs that they've dubbed into English. But I make them watch the Arabic version, the likes of like Tayo, Tatipo. Yeah, you know.
Tayo, I know Tayo.
Yeah.
You should watch. You should watch Paw Patrol.
Oh yeah, they do like Paw Patrol. They do like Paw Patrol, and there's another one, Buster. Go Buster, Buster the Bus.
Yeah. PJ and Masks. That's pretty good for their age, I think.
Yeah, and some of them are quite good because they do like they teach some little morals and things, but a lot of them are just quite frankly trash. And it's really hard because you want to turn it off, but also they're right in the height of the toddler tantrums, and it's like the end of the world when you turn the TV off or you change it to a different channel. I swear our neighbours think that we talk to the boys, but really all we've done is we turned TiVo off. So yeah, sometimes you have to pick your battles carefully, don't you? So sometimes you've got to let it slide, and then sometimes you've got to sort of like, no, okay, this is off, back to sort of nursery lesson.
Yeah, James and I were talking about screen time this morning, and there's a friend of ours who their son's only allowed to play Fortnite for like an hour on the weekend, and I was kind of hanging that over my son as an idle threat yesterday. I was like, listen, so-and-so, he's only allowed it an hour a week. He's like, yeah, that can never happen, right? And I was like, yeah, well, it could, right? So he's like, right, okay, fine, no problem. I'll switch this off now, and then can I play tomorrow? Yeah, okay.
But it's difficult because, especially at the moment, because we're all looking for ways to keep them entertained and happy. And I'm not saying that sticking children in front of a screen is the answer, but I know for
I think you did. I think we'll just stop there, Jenna. The doctor just said that the best way is to put them in front of the screen. That's great.
That's it. That's all we need.
Thanks,
I
Dr. Jenna.
110% did not say that. What I was going to say,
we'll play it back.
Was I definitely let the boys watch a little bit more than I did, because it's a long day, isn't it? And it's kind of, I use it to earmark just before they're going, before nap time, before bedtime, or let's sit down in the middle of some games, just watch half an hour. I mean, YouTube is full of amazing educational programs as well for young children, and there's all sorts you can learn about counting and the alphabet, etc., different languages. But yeah, it's definitely more screen time than I would choose to let them have. But it's also like, it's very difficult to try and keep them entertained all day.
Yeah, challenges.
So how was everyone's Easter? Because it was Easter Sunday. Was there kind of Easter egg hunts and that kind of thing? How was everyone's Easter?
Total non-event. We told the kids and it was cancelled this year.
Colin.
Quality that.
Is that just because you didn't want to buy any chocolate for them, Colin? Is that what that was? Is that just the miser side coming out, or what?
Yeah, I mean, we really advocate the parenting technique that our children really shouldn't be separated from the TV at any moment whatsoever. And on that basis, the idea of the potential exercise benefit was something that we just couldn't have. It's not accepted in our household, and nor will it ever be.
We get the 3,000 steps at the end of the day around the garden, so what do we want?
I think the issue is the handcuffs I have to put on the children to get those 3,000 steps. But we get there,
Just stick an iPad on your back, Colin. Just let them run, like watch TV at the same time.
Hey, that's a good idea.
That'd be fine.
It's such a good idea.
Keep him busy.
Kind of like the Turkish tea guy. You've got a backpack with the big speakers and the iPad on there. Why not just make it a plasma TV, and you're walking and they're behind you? What a great! That's the Pied Piper, but 2020.
The only reason I ask is when I went to the shops to bitlastminute.com to get some eggs. I've never seen anything like it. There was nothing. I mean, it was all the kind of, all the chocolate you don't want. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that dog chocolate that it's a bit cheap. Like it's not. So trying to find something was. I think this year, I don't know. And again, like you said, Jenna, I don't know if it was because people are at home and just looking for a 5-minute break. Just to like let's do an Easter egg hunt. Let's do a bunny hunt. Let's do all sorts of stuff. Just to kind of do
people
something
usually
different.
text me to say Happy Easter, and I'm like, oh, is it Easter Sunday? And we had a big celebration this year, and it was purely because lack of resource for other things to do, and it made for a really nice day.
Yeah, it's funny actually, because we're doing so as a family we're quite connected like anyway, but because of the VoIP restrictions we've never really done video chats. I don't know if you guys have done it back home, because it's a bit of a challenge with some of the kind of older folk, let's say, trying to tell them, look, I need a VPN and I need this. But we found we're doing kind of family every weekend now. We do a big family Zoom. We're back home, and what's interesting is what's quite comical is it seems like it's my cousin's birthday, and they're like, "Oh yeah, happy birthday!" And they're like, that's the first time you've wished me happy birthday in 7 years. Oh, okay, all right. So it's basically, it was comical because everyone was, oh, you know, I'm really sorry I couldn't send the Easter card this year. And I'm like, yeah, sorry, because of COVID. And they're like, Andrew, you've never sent an Easter card. I'm like, okay, fair enough. So, yeah, I think.
Who sent an Easter card?
Are there such things?
Apparently all of my family except for me. So, yeah, I didn't realize it was a big deal in our family. I obviously made it not a big deal with my own nucleus. And then, everyone was saying, oh, yeah, no, it's such a shame. I mean, my mum makes cards and she sends them and she put them on WhatsApp and sent them through to everyone because we couldn't do the post. So, I mean, it's, I didn't realize that we celebrated Easter. It's only now as a family that everyone was like, yeah, you know, we get a card, sorry. So I've been dropped out of the rotation at some point many years ago, right? So it's kind of, and I'm okay with that, but I'm getting exposed on these family chats now, which is anyone else doing the family chats as well, like the big family chats or the kind of mates chats and stuff like that?
PlayStation.
That's true.
Just doing more on Grand Theft Auto, like not been on it for probably 3 years. And Amy goes and does an hour's yoga in the evening and behind the settee, and I'm on the front of the settee playing on the PlayStation. Like, not done it for, honestly, 3-4 years. Well, since the summer that I was here on my own. Otherwise, So, and it's just a better way than sitting there with a phone on you attached to your head, I suppose. But yeah, Amy thinks I'm a bit geeky doing it, but you know, what can you do?
We caught up with the family on Zoom and it was very awkward. They were all, at one point it kind of looked like it was an inquisition. They're all sitting in a straight line and you've got one person talking, you got one person who looks ticked off, and you got one person, the older person in the crowd, who looked like a deer in the headlights, just looking, not sure what was going on. It was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. And it was just a little awkward because it didn't have that flow of a regular conversation, but it was a regular conversation. So I think maybe we have to do a few more of those, but no, we haven't jumped into that. We're still kind of talking as we do with family on a more one-to-one basis, not on a big crowd basis. But maybe that's going to have to change.
It depends how many people you've got, because I found if you've got 3 or 4, it's fine. But when you've got like 10, we did a baby shower on Zoom, and when you've got so many people, nobody knows when can we speak, when can't we speak. Whereas if you can see everybody quite clearly, it's quite comfortable and it flows like a normal conversation, and it's great actually. Sort of seeing family more in some ways than I would normally.
Yeah, we've definitely seen like more. I mean, for the first time since my wedding, like aunts and uncles saw each other, because it's just not, they're just different sides of the family. So we did like a big rotation on there. I mean, I think, people are getting used to it still, because my cousin was, you had to mute my cousin because she's like talking over here, and we're like, we can hear you on here. So so there are some challenges, I think. But also, I mean, I think back home, a lot of people just FaceTime all the time. So it's almost like we're not used to video talking, if that makes sense. It's kind of, video chat's quite commonplace back home on FaceTime. But of course here, it's all blocked or was blocked. So you kind of, you're not, I mean, I'm sending video WhatsApps now as well to people. Because, I don't know, I'm spending so much time. And my record is I think I said to you, James, just one of my records, 11 Zoom meetings in a day.
Yeah, I don't know how you can do that.
So back to Colin, your point, I'm finding myself busier, because ordinarily I could only ever have 5 meetings a day, but because it's Zoom, you don't have any time. But then I've got a public calendar to do, and basically it's kind of like back to back to back to back. So yeah, it's even to the point where I've got myself a little ring light and all this kind of stuff now, so I can do videos.
And also to make your skin look great.
I gotta say, I love.
I mean, to be fair, I just need to get rid of the beard hair.
Oh yes.
I'm feeling quite a lot younger through the entire process. I don't know really what it is. All of a sudden, I get this kind of feeling that I've gone back 10 years or so.
I like the fact that Andrew is now on time for everything, like, or early, which I mean, I've never experienced that with Andrew. You know, it's in all the years coming, even when you used to come to the radio, sometimes it was right down to the wire. I mean, I'd be standing there wondering, is he going to show up? I think sometimes the intro credits were playing and you'd come in the door. Oh, sorry, James, and get down to it. But
it's all part of the excitement, mate. There's just that, you know, fear that you might have to go on your own. So I did it on purpose. I was hiding downstairs in the car park.
I'm going to have to shoot because I'm actually recording this from work. So I
can see that. I see that you're actually in the work office now. You've changed spots and you're whispering.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Jenna, it's been a blast. It's been a blast. We'll talk to you again soon.
Take care.
See you later. I think Jenna was holding out leaving because she doesn't want us to talk about her. Oh, but you know what, guys? We are reaching that time where we probably need to wrap this up and get this up on air because you've all got stuff to do. I mean, Glenn's got the girls he's got to go deal with, and we've all got things to do. Colin's still at work. I mean, I'm looking at the hour here. That's yeah.
Going to be here for a while yet. There's lots going on, and I'm going to have to work out how to get this van out of my head in the first instance. It's going to be painful.
Yeah, awesome. Gentlemen, Glenn, do you have anything else you want to throw into the mix there?
Nothing really. I've got zero opinions on anything today.
Oh man, you know what? I think this is we've got to be doing these every week where we all just get together and have a chat and catch up and see what's going on. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, we need to keep it up. We need to keep it up when we're back in person as well.
Yeah, we got to figure a way to do that.
They'll flow a bit smoother. Yeah.
Yeah. We're all getting into it. So, gentlemen, with that being said, then I think it's time that we wrap this up, and we'll do it all again really, really soon. Which means, thank you very much for joining us. You've been listening to Podaholiks and the Gang of Five, which is Andrew Thomas, Colin Thomas, Glenn Power, of course, Jenna Burton, and myself, James Piecowye. Want to talk to us? Podaholiks with a K at gmail.com. Find us across the socials, Podaholiks with a K. Listen to the program, like the program, share the program, send us a review. That's what you got to do. You've been listening to the Gang of Five.